I hate to say it, but I do love the coaching carousel. It's one of my favorite things about the NBA is really that kind of level of chaos and happening before the carnival is even over yet. I'm not talking about Ime Udoka rumors to Houston either, which have him linked to Houston for the last couple of weeks. I am talking about one of the most respected names in the NBA, widely considered a top 5 coach in the league, and one of the best coaches in history, probably. What he did for the 2019 Toronto Raptors with Kawhi Leonard, pretty remarkable. Nick Nurse. This was a little bit of a shit show of a year. We interviewed him before the season started. It was a lot of hearts and flowers. Well, everybody thought this team was going to be pretty good. Pascal Siakam had a career year. OG Anunoby was really good. Fred VanVleet was really good. Yeah, Gary Trent Jr. not so much. But listen, did anybody think that there would be this much dysfunction to the point where people are starting to check in on Nick's status for the following few years while he's sitting there under contract? No. It went off the rails really before it ever started. So they had a weak start, went downhill from there. You had injuries to Pascal Siakam. You had injuries to Scotty Barnes. You had injuries to OG Anunoby. And that pretty much set them back, and they've been scrambling ever since, hovering around the 500 mark. As the struggles deepened, grumblings about unhappy players started to arise, make their way out of Toronto, which is a very hush-hush organization, by the way. So when rumors start to get out, you know it's not good. OG Anunoby, Siakam, Fred VanVleet, even Scotty Barnes at times seemed to have tuned Nick Nurse out after bad loss started to stack up. And also, what was going on at the trade deadline, every player was rumored to be on the chopping block. And for the first time ever, after trading no one and trading for Jakob Poeltl, Nick Nurse may possibly be on the hot seat, which some of these NBA insiders have predicted since the offseason, I might imagine. Shout out to Jake Fisher, who did see this coming. For the first time in Nick Nurse's career as an NBA head coach, he's had to address these rumors. Let's just say, after hearing what he said last night, I'm not so sure he's going to be around there for long. Here's what he said.
I think when this season gets done, we'll evaluate everything, and even personally, like, I'm going to take a few weeks to see where I'm at. Like you said, where's my head at, and just see how the relationship with the organization is and everything. It's been 10 years for me now, which is a pretty good run. Right now, my head is to get this and make this as long a season as possible. This team needs playoff experience, right? So that is where I'm at right now.
More thought then into, for whatever the reason, you might not be back next year?
No, I think that I'm concentrated on this job for sure, and this game, essentially. But I think 10 years is a good time to sit back and reflect a little bit, right? So I think that's where we're going. We'll do that all when the season ends.
Oh boy, doesn't it sound like there's a possibility? When you hear someone say 10 years is a good time to sit back and reflect, they're already reflecting, baby. They are already starting to get their tickets to Cancun or Cabo or wherever they're going to do. Some thinking, some deep thought, maybe a monastery in Quebec. I don't know. He has 1 year left on his deal. Has not been offered an extension yet that we know about. And damn, it looks like his 5 years as Dwayne Casey's assistant and 5 years as head coach in Toronto just might be coming to a close. Eric Koreen of The Athletic, he summed it up when he wrote this. In no way is Nurse the primary problem with the Raptors. However, when a coach calls out his team effort and energy as many times as he has this year, and the results continue to be fairly poor, it's clear something is wrong. Really, many things are wrong. Barring a surprisingly positive end to this Raptors season, a coaching change seems more likely than not. God damn. Sheesh. I love some Nick Nurse. I do. He's one of my all-time favorite coaches and people in the league. Very insightful, as you can see even from his interview. Very thoughtful. People have linked him to Houston. But I tell you what, if you don't want to coach in Toronto because young guys are doing dumb shit and they're tuning you out, I promise you, you don't have the energy for Houston, my guy. No, you don't. You don't have any. We talk about bad roads, 6-lane highways, back-to-back traffic. You go from Toronto, Canada, one of the most progressive cities in the NBA, to a full-blown red state with crazy traffic and young guys who just want to chuck all day like AAU players. Fuck no. Absolutely fucking not. One thing is for sure. If he wants to coach, he can coach. He's not going to be out of a job for long. Probably would win another chip again, just not in Toronto, baby. Just not in Toronto.